Yes, everyone, this is my another video of Indian Railway, and first I am applying the sky, a little bit of Frigi sky. It's a cobalt blue, and little bit with orange, and I wash o- all over the sky, and then try to save the uh, train. So this is the way of making sky, है ना? So it's very simple. Don't have to bother too much, just because you have to concentrate on the train. So just make a little bit light sky, and then you have to take little bit of ultramarine and little pigment of orange, and you can paint something is there in the horizon. There is a some train is or so many noise are there, like a train is there, lamppost or whatever the railway buildings, and so these kind of things you have to paint wet to it and touch the sky point with that line. You can see right now it was looks very prominent, but you not allow this prominency in horizon. So after paint this, you can touch with the sky. So sky color is wet, so that will come to that paint of that is I used ultramarine and orange, so it's make it pigment light. So this is how I did the horizon part. So it's easy. Now I come into the foreground. The foreground I used a little bit of multicolor like cerulean blue, and there is little bit of lavender, orange, and little violet. Violet I always create with ultramarine and crimson red. So and when it is the foreground is wet, that time you have to be a little bit, you can touch the darker part very slowly. uh, that should be give you a shadow effect, that main train, है ना? So you have to be careful that time. The paper must be wet but not too much. Okay, so this is how I created the foreground interesting, like, and you have to work more. Okay, so guys, you have to develop your confidence first, because don't afraid the putting colors. Now you can see I started painting the trains. So I just used yellow, that's a little gambos and Indian yellow, and now I'm using burnt sienna and little bit of mixture of crimson is there. Okay, so this is how I will develop the train. So let's see, I'm going to use some ultramarine color with orange little bit. Definitely ultramarine, crimson and orange are there. So make the opposite light part of the train, that is the light is coming from the right side of my paper. So the opposite side of the train I'm just making little interesting in the shadow area, paint in the shadow area. The light is not coming directly, so that is the color. You can see I'm using ultramarine, crimson and little orange, but very carefully, because you have to make little details, because that train is very closer rather than the behind one. So you have to be little careful. Now I'm taking little yellow ochre to make that yellow part of that train little darker. Now I'm using sap green to decorate the train more appropriate. So this is how you have to you can see there is a, because of that ultramarine blue, you can easily describe the shadow area of the opposite light area of the train. So when you paint this kind of situation, you have to be knowledge that like where from where the light is coming. Understand? So now I will develop the front side also, but little bit, you know, you have to take care of the timing also, because sometimes you cannot allow the paint when the paper is completely wet. So sometimes you have to wait, and wait wait, and when you feel that this is the proper time of using second tone, then you should use. So now because the front train is little wet, so I am using little um, developing the train which is behind that, and I'm close my little eyes, I know half close my eyes, so I can see hazy, and I will paint hazy, and I don't allow the details on the that train, the small one. So these are the techniques when you have to paint the things which you don't want details. Then you should close your eyes little bit. So when you see little hazy, you will paint little hazy. Okay. So guys, and there are so many techniques behind of watercolor, and you have to follow always those techniques, those rules. Now you can see that horizon part, because I allow the sky color should come on that horizon uh, line. Now you can see that was looks very light and smooth. So this is how you have to develop the things. Okay. So now there is a almost done the train, the smaller one. Now I'm going to develop the front train, and I will do little bit details, but not uh, too much, and I will maintain the style. I will maintain that abstraction style, which is not look properly, and look little bit contemporary type. Okay, so this is how I started decorating that train. Now you can see I'm just making more details on the train, the front side. You know, the looking windows, and the front side of the train. So you have to follow up the picture, whatever the reference picture you have, because uh, the front side looks little better, looks little detailed rather than the behind one. Okay. Now you can see I started making details that the electric poles, wire poles, and all the details, all the noise actually, track and everything. I just started making details, and I using very dry brushes for those lines. So these are very important, you know. So you have to be very careful when you paint this kind of electric poles and other things. That must be in a maintain the perspective. In the railway track, definitely you have to maintain the perspective line, and use a proper rigor one brush, you know, that is very helpful. So these are the very, these lines develop your painting, you know, that's why you have to be very careful. Now you can see I just giving more small noise details. These are you call noise to make the things busy. And so that is not a very tough composition. When you got a reference of like this, then you have to just concentrate